Friday, March 10th, about 0 degrees, partly cloudy. For reference purposes, we'll say this two-story property faces due north. We're full brick right up to some aluminum cladding on our upper elevation there. Roof shingles certainly been updated fairly recently. I'll date them for you accurately in just a little bit. Single mushroom vent venting that knee wall. Plumbing stack on the backside. No tabs visibly missing here. You can see the cross section, suggesting single layer. We have aluminum eaves, fascia, and soffits on this property. Alright, coming over to the north side, we've got 4 mushroom vents venting that upper attic space. Again, no tabs missing. Shingles certainly aging well, and again, I'll date them for you in just a little bit. We used to have a chimney coming up this side, been truncated, no longer required. Look here from the back, we've got an addition with our laundry room, so we could look at all that. Again, we used to have a chimney coming up here, truncated, and flashing. Well, I would say that was all done recently when they re-shingled, truncated the chimney. They've put in a section of flashing. All in all, not looking too bad. There is some, this is non-exterior grade expandable foam tucked up underneath, sprayed in there. It's yellow when it goes in. It's already turning deep orange. The UV of the sun will break this product down eventually to dust and blow away, so there is a little bit of air leakage there. It's a good idea to get up and properly caulk and seal. Window's been bricked in. At our bathroom, we do have an exhaust fan, or we'll confirm we have an exhaust fan. Here's venting right here. Some age caulking. This is the south side of the property where it takes the brunt of the UV and everything ages at an accelerated rate. So keep your eye on everything. Everything does have a life cycle. Shingles across the back match the upper. Flashing looks good. There's caulking in there. Monitor that. Remove and replace as required. Alright, right here at the back of the property, southwest corner, we're going to start our perimeter check here, and I'm going to work my way around counterclockwise today. We'll sneak in on the neighboring side. Service disconnect here. Dryer vent is here as well. Again, UV, the sun breaking the vinyl down. Eventually you're going to need new cover and properly caulk and seal. Another vent up there. We'll chase that out. This will be kitchen range hood over here. Service disconnect for our AC, which is right behind me. Alright, looks like we're about approaching 7 years of age. 30 amp max breaker. I'll confirm on your panel box when we get down into our basement. And we're obviously not at the time of year where I can test these, but average or expected life cycle is about 20 to 25 years. So we are block underneath this porch, and they close this addition in at some point. See if there's basement under. I'm not sure. So some of the parging here is pulled away, which is just a skim coat of concrete. Let's see, when you get little cracks like you have here and you don't maintain, the moisture gets in behind, freezes and expands, and that's why that's all popped off. So you can certainly clean that up. Fall greater than 24 inch does require 35.5 inch guarding, 4 inch gapping on balusters. We're up on the porch. First exterior receptacle is non-GFCI in appearance. It needs to be GFCI. That is today's standard or code. Sometimes they're wired in elsewhere, so I'm going to short the circuit. It is grounded, and that's not tripping. So we need to get that swapped out. GFCI is about $20 a piece. We've got a vent here, so there's a little bit of an attic space, and that's what that vent's for. I have one matching on the other side, so a little cross venting in there. Vinyl cladding doesn't look too bad. It's been patched in a couple places. Screens missing. We'll be testing all windows and doors once we're on the inside. This window modified at some point. You can see the different brick in here. Again, we've got a fall hazard. No stairs coming off, so you're going to want to put those in, obviously. Alright, coming down our east side. Again, we'll check out the cold cellar once we're back down in the basement. Now, common standard recommendation nowadays on these older properties, downspouts going down into grade, undergrade, into cast. You want to stop doing that. Cut this off, put a 45 on it. I would boot it down and away while slopes kind of come in this way, so maybe kick it over, let the water flow, fill that in with concrete. We'll have a good look in the basement for any moisture related issues. I know they've done a little bit of work on the side with some Delta wrap and a floor cut, and we'll talk about all that once we're back downstairs. Again, window's been removed. You see the old soldier course lentil here. Venting, 2-piece bath, so we've got a fan in place. We are full double brick. You can see these bricks turned perpendicular to the others, indicating that. No soffit venting allowance down this east side. And we've got skim coat of concrete again called parging, non-GFCI. Again, we're going to test just to make sure. And it's not tripping, so again, $20 to have that upgraded. I'm going to test that door once we're on the inside. We do have a little bit of exposed lumber. Keep that scraped and painted. hydro entering at this point. Now coming in off the street, we've got number 3 wire coming into our masthead. Lots of clamps coming down. Smart meter base, 1.25" conduit indicates 100 amp service. I do recommend maintaining a caulking line. We've got nice concrete work here, but a couple of areas he's kind of graded back towards our foundation, and this is the area where we saw the floor cut downstairs. So we maintain a caulking line here. That's going to prevent moisture from getting under grade as well. A couple of our hangers are starting to pull away. You might want to secure those a little better. A little late to get a window well in here. Soldier course lintel looking pretty good. A couple of spalled bricks. You can patch those up, seal them up so prevent further deterioration, and our parging's completely blown off here on the corner. Again, non-structural issues. Just want to clean it up aesthetically. Front porch was redone at some point. Obviously you can see the newer brick. Fall greater than 24. We mentioned it in the back. 35.5 inch guarding is min height requirement, so if you ever do change this, you'll have to bring that up to today's standard. Our columns are sitting nice and true, no shifting or lifting going on. There we go, we got GFCI in the front here. We're going to test it, make sure it's working. Alright, tester's in, again grounded circuit, just shorted it and that tripped, so this is what we need on the other two. That one's all code compliant. Single piece concrete sill, no mortar joints to be concerned with. Our windows are upgraded, not new mind you, they're probably 20 plus years of age. Capped in aluminum, a little bit of separation in here, get that sealed. No signs of moisture penetration. Header coming across, no blower deflection. Alright, top side, again, all these windows and doors we tested once we're on the inside there, everything capped in aluminum here. It's a little bit of power wash, I would say. Masonry looks excellent. Coming up our west side, this is what I was talking about with the downspout. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Booting that down and away, stop putting moisture under grade. Gas service entering here, regulators vented up, not near any opening. This is your water meter reader. Continuing, kind of sneaking on the neighbor side right now. Air intake and exhaust for our upgraded furnace. That's our hot water tank. Both in today's standard, that white 636. Parging's blown off here. Now you can see even underneath there's imprint making it look like block, but I call this rubble style fieldstone. It's not quite fieldstone, it's not quite block, it's in between. It's still relatively porous, so we pay very close attention to grading, downspout water management, and all those wonderful things. Down this side, grading's good. Again, I would just maintain a caulking line along here. Got some some mortar separation and blown out, so repack all that. Caulking here, definitely age, remove and replace. Different date window above. Again, masonry is looking very good. Window here's been all bricked in. Alright, so a bit of a height restriction, obviously not getting up here, running around. Camera's a good tool, mind you. These shingles are looking really good. I'm going to write them up as 2 to 4 years of age. Average reshingling takes place around 16 to 18 years, so lots of life left in this current system. Alright, we're obviously inside the property. We're up here on the 3rd level. There's no direct attic access, so only a tiny little A-frame up in here. But without direct access above, I can't comment on insulation. Structure looked good from the outside. Really got no issues there. There was no bow or deflection. As I go room to room throughout this property, I'll keep my eye to the sky on our ceiling lines, looking for any moisture-related issues. Anything we see or suspect, certainly be tested with moisture meter equipment. We're going to be sampling receptacles as we go, testing windows and doors as we mentioned. The other thing to note here, there's no supply air coming off that furnace. So she's a little chilly, the window was open, but you're going to need secondary heat and then probably a window air conditioner in the summer months. Breaching the screen, you need a repair kit here as well. Alright, well that's this pane, and these mechanisms here are what helps it slide and open. So she's going to be a little cumbersome, but still functioning nonetheless. Lock sets are good, no signs of moisture underneath. The receptacles throughout here are all grounded, which tells me they've rewired up to this 3rd level. We have a fall greater than 5 feet here obviously, so 42-inch guarding is required. We do have handrail in place, which is a requirement greater than 3 risers. That's good to see. Alright, we have knee wall access here on the east side, so we opened her up. Plywood decking, all original, 2x4 rafters. We were just talking off camera a little bit about the little squirrel cage, not a cage if you will, but prevention. They got in here at the soffit point at one time, all been dealt with professionally. So we are 16-inch on center. There's our cast plumbing stack heading up and out. All upgraded wiring as we can see. And we look towards the north. There's some old knob and tube. All been truncated. Good news. The only thing we're missing here is even though we have insulation down below, you're supposed to insulate the vertical knee wall here with a minimum R12. So you can always get in here, throw some boards down, pack that in down the road. That's going to help keep it warm in the winter months, and it's also going to help with keeping it cool in the summer. Alright, just doing a little exploratory, make sure we got no nasty insulation going on, but chopped wool, chopped fiberglass, probably about an R12. So again, do recommend you do the vertical here. I didn't see any access down the west side. You can always cut a hole. You'll be basically looking at exactly what we're looking at here. Alright, we got all that put back together. Here at the back, 1985 stenciled on the interior of our aluminum extrusion here. Still fully functioning, no screen. Parking for 3 in the back, so I'll be here on game day. Alright, came down a level. We got a baby sleeping in the center room, so we're going to come back and do that room in a little bit when the baby wakes up. Smoke detector here. Recommendation we make on every single inspection is upon occupancy. You want to get brand new units, swap them out on every level, and carbon monoxide detection. Not only recommended, now law in the area where people are sleeping. So at the front of the property, master bedroom, again fully grounded throughout. Ceilings have been redone at some point. Absolutely no evidence of any moisture issues. There's the original closet here, and then they've built this wall out for the larger closet. Again, no signs of moisture. Still sampling. Everything's good electrically. Alright, this first window here, right side or the east. Everything's lining up good. The window's functioning, but we're missing the interior side of the lock there, so nothing to grab. Not that you're overly concerned with security here on the second floor. Same condition here on the west. Breach in the screen. This is the interior wall, still in the master bedroom. We've got an old baseboard receptacle still. Original, ungrounded. I just tested it for power, and just document for you here that it's still indeed live and active. And I can't take this cover off because it's a few coats of paint on there, and I'm not allowed to cut that, score it. Basically, I can't create any permanent change or damage to the property. You may want to get that one terminated. I would suspect you may have some knob and tube in here. We do have one right here which is updated. Guarding here in the hall, we're just heading to the back of the property now. This should be 42 inch, so again, if you ever do change that, you'll have to bring that up. Back bedroom, southwest. Obviously some storage going on in here. We're not going to make our way to the window. Ceilings above looking great. Alright, into the bathroom. We have an exhaust fan kicking out. We used to have a window right here, all bricked in from the exterior. GFCI is a requirement here in the bathroom. Tester's in. I'm going to short it. It's like throwing a hairdryer in that sink right there. So that just tripped, and that's A-OK and code compliant fan switches here. I commonly recommend down the road swapping these out. Put that on a timer. You want to run these fans about 30 minutes post-shower just to ensure enough opportunity for that moisture to get to the exterior. We're going to crank everything up. I saw an upgraded water line coming into the property. So our pressure should be great. Copper inbound here. Shut-off confirmed on our toilet. That's the only one that's mandated. Confirmed to the floor. No problem with the flush. Down underneath. Had some previous issues here, as you can clearly see, but everything's bone dry today. Clean out on our P-trap. Again, copper inbound. Caulking here is breached. I would get that updated. A little bit of water's been rolling around the shower here. A little bit of damage down there. You can fix that up. Caulking looks good inside. So our water closet's demanding water, sink's going, shower's pumping away. That is some pretty excellent water pressure. Receptacle here on this back wall, non-GFCI in appearance. However, I just shorted the circuit and it tripped over here, so both are protected, this being your reset point, where it's all original, but she sees, so you might want to do something here. Top of the stairs, 1992, stenciled on the interior of that aluminum extrusion. Handrail in place. Alright, I have the front entry now. Furnace is kicked on, so we're just going to sample. Coming up to temperature very quickly, already at 42 degrees. Still watching ceiling lines. Beautiful plasterwork here at the front entry. Smoke detector here. And a little bit of daylight visible. See what happens when we tighten that up. There we go. It's all pretty good. Alright, front living room. Again, ceiling's looking good. No signs of moisture. Big header coming across here. Sitting nice and true. Dining room, all the same. Even the header here, we got a cutout. No cracking. backpedal a little bit. Alright, front window, lock set's lining up, no problem here. Now, we've got single pane glass in this bottom one, so that's been broken at some point. Not overly efficient, but the wind's not going to come whipping in, just bringing that to your attention. Dining area, this is west-facing window. Again, a little bit older, 1982, but functioning A-OK, no screen here. Still sampling as we go, other than that one receptacle in the upper bedroom, we are A-OK. That is a little lighter in temperature, 26.1. I made our way to the back of the property, two-piece bath. And GFCI in place, functioning A-OK, exhaust fan, we know that one's kicking out the back wall. No stopper mechanism here, that's why we've got the plug. Shut off, confirmed on our toilet. Firm to the floor, no problem there. Down and behind our sink. The copper inbound, now we're straight piped on the waste side of things, so we'll have to chase out a P-trap assembly down below. Alright, so this is the part of the porch that was closed in. There's the double brick depth of your exterior wall. What used to be the exterior wall. Again, electrically everything's checking out, no problem at all. There's the big dog bone, bigger than the dog. Get some water flowing down both sides. Alright, so we've got the waste line for the washer coming in here before the P-trap assembly, right where that needs to be. Everything indeed is copper. Independent shut-off supplying the washer. No issues under here whatsoever. Behind there, looking good. Down behind there's our 30 amp receptacle on the wall. Aluminum heading out. Everything A-OK. It's really nice and warm in here. We do have heat supply. I think we have, we got that, it's finished off down there. We're going to head down there in a moment. I always do kitchens last, so that furnace kicked off, but still getting some residual heat. Alright, so heading downstairs, coming into here, a little bit of slope issue. You're going to see some additional structure that they've added in for support. Side door, functioning. And the weather stripping, a little gappy. You could do a little better job than that down the road. And these stairs, makeshift stairs, do a little better job than this. A little wonky coming down. So here's the additional structure that we mentioned. Saw this on our preliminary run through. So over the decades, no column support here on the end, and you tend to get a little bit of slope, and that's what's happened here. You can slowly, if you'd like, jack these up. And I say slowly because people want to bring everything panel flat, and they'll come down and crank these, and then it's going to crack all the plasterwork, windows, doors, everything will go out of square. So with this in place, that's going to prevent any further movement. It's basically the objective anyways. So I come down into basement, so we start to do a perimeter walk, checking and testing things as we go. So right here is where they've done the floor cut. You can see the Delta wrap, and it's coming this way, which would indicate that we've had some moisture issues. This is right where the concrete slopes in. I talked about caulking. There'll be some weepers underneath. Floor's been cut over to our floor drain over here. So this is all good stuff. Don't have to be overly concerned with moisture, at least at this location. Hydros here, we'll come back to that momentarily, all upgraded. Our bones, 2x8, 16-inch on center. No beam in this house. Everything's running foundation to foundation, east to west. Front corner, so we're turning now. This is at the front porch. Really looking good as far as moisture goes. We talked about the water service being upgraded. There's the 3/4 copper line. It's a $2,000 upgrade. Primary water shutoff right here. In the event of a water emergency, you're doing repair work, this is where you need to get to, so make sure you always have clear and open access. This floor drain was added in. You can see the floor cut here. Again, foundation looking good. A little bit of efflorescence, a little bit of peel. The efflorescence is this white powder substance. That's moisture pulling through the concrete, bringing some calcium and other minerals with it. Crystallizes here on the interior side, bone dry, just like talcum powder, like I said. It says there's opportunity for correction outside, so caulk and seal the perimeter. She's really dry down here. Just making our way around. Furnace we're going to come back to once we complete the trip around. So they've had purging. You see the chicken wire. There's the old chimney. We know that's truncated on this west side. No longer required. Condensate line heading to our floor drain. Water tanks here, again today's standard in venting, heading up and out. High pressure relief valves intact. Read the literature on this tag. You want to test that valve periodically. It's very important. That's in good working order. Tank itself, about 7 years of age, 151 liter capacity. Gas shutoff right over here. There we go. October 25th, 2010. So not quite 7 years of age, coming up to. Everything looking A-OK. Cover required there. Minor electrical. So again, just some peel, a little bit of efflorescence, but no dampness. No signs of flooding. This is where the window was bricked in. Working our way towards the southwest corner. Structure all looking pretty good. This is the cold cellar, if you will. Laundry's above us here. There's the heat duct heading up and in. Window was blocked in or bricked in. A little bit of a lateral shift here, you can see. It was deteriorated on the outside. You might want to put some supports out there down the road. A little bit of movement here. We're carrying the load of this concrete slab above, so we don't want that to move too far. And you can just put some vertical supports just to keep that wall sitting nice and true. Coming back around, still following. There's the waistline coming down. This is the toilet above. Good downward flow to the main. All been updated, clean out, accessible. This is the joist that they cut for the stack heading up. And you should get some additional support. Probably on this side you got plumbing lines here where you can't really play around with. We've got a joist hanger sitting there, not attached. This is the balance of our perimeter walk. So again, overall, nice and dry down here. For the age, that rubble style concrete is relatively porous. You know they've had some issues in here, but they have been addressed. So our panel box, 100 amp main switch, top left. Any problems electrically, you're not quite sure what circuit to go to, you're going to throw this switch and that's going to terminate absolutely everything. Looks like the upgrade was done July 2010. I'm going to pull the cover in a moment, make sure everything's compliant on the inside. 30 here, dryer. 30 here is AC. We got some 20 amp receptacles in the kitchen. 40 here for our stove. We're going to pull the cover. There's room for expansion too, so if you want to do some work down here, more than enough room. Put a hot tub out back, whatever you need to do. Cover required here. Alright, cover is removed. Everything indeed is copper. Neutrals and grounds are isolated. Let's start top left, work our way down looking at individual circuits. A 12 gauge coming off our 20 amp, 14 gauge off 15s, 10 gauge on 30. Clean down this left side, jumping over. Got an open 15 here, we can shut that one off. 12 gauge here. Big number 8 going to our stove on 40. Again, 14 and 12 as we work our way up. 10 gauge here, AC. No double tapping. You're allowed one wire per screw per circuit. Doubling is when people jump or cheat them in. We find that violation all the time. So happy to report that the interior side of your panel box is flawless. Alright, brings us to our furnace. The pressure test tag here, April 5th, 2010. So they've done some work on this property back in 2010. That is for sure. Air filter here on the right. There's always an arrow indicator. Always make sure that follows directional flow back towards the unit. Somebody's taken a Sharpie and put it on there for you. I'll tell you, about 75% of the furnaces I look at, the filters are in backwards. Okay, confirming here. We got 2010 in the serial number. And we are 69,000 BTUs, 66.9 at the bonnet. A little bit of orange flame dancing around. Typically a sign of incomplete combustion, so I would have this thing cleaned and tuned up a little bit. Relatively clean here, mind you. Not looking bad at all. Filter's clean. Average or expected life cycle is like an AC, 20 to 25 years. We talked about the venting already. Today's standard in that white 636. Gas shutoff right here. And right at the base of the stairs is your furnace kill switch or service disconnect. Junction box cover required. Looks like I'm probably going to put a light there. Alright, wrapping up in the kitchen. Got a receptacle, non-GFCI on the left side. Just put my tester in there and shorted the circuit. It tripped here. So again, protected on both sides. Reset being here on the right. Down underneath, dishwasher waistline's wide in again before our P-trap assembly. Cheater vent up there. That allows air behind water for better flow. That's A-OK. Independent shutoff supplying our dishwasher. That's a code requirement. Alright, we've got venting up and out. The only time it's code to go to the exterior is if we have a gas range, which obviously we do not. 40 amp receptacles mounted down and behind. Nice range head here. Newer window here in the back, south facing. Looks that's perfect. Got laminate floor showing a little bit of delamination and separation. That's just about it for the video portion of this inspection.